I like it. I like your thinking. My brother-in-law watches this in the VOD, and he likes to watch it on Twitch because he gets all this pre-show business that we don't normally put anywhere else. Oh. So you're welcome, Ken. You're welcome.
I'm going to replace my picture with the picture of Skinny Pete.
Nice.
There he is.
He's now DMing. I'm DMing. I'm Skinny Pete. I like to do drugs.
Oh, yeah, that's the trailer there.
Yeah, I can't listen to it, though.
That was a hell of an impression.
All right. Let's get started. Sure.
Yes, it's time. Okay. Let me start the recording. Okay, we're good. And now, as is tradition, I begin with a countdown of 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, welcome back to There Will Be Dungeons at therewillbedungeons.com. We play D&D, and we do it on the weekly. And we're back again. It's Sunday night, August 25th. Time for us to dive into yet another episode of our grand adventure, hosted by our wonderful DM, Bo Schwartz. It's me, Scott Johnson, John Jagger, Kristen Ashton, and of course Kyle Ferguson, all huddled around the fire, ready to play, and we're going to do that in a second. But before we do, I like to read emails on the show, and I'm going to do one this week from a listener named, hold on, there he is, Linus. I think he's probably from Sweden. Linus Brorsson. It's a really cool name. Anyway, Linus wrote in, says, "Hey, TWBD, my name is Linus, and I love your show. I even got inspired to try playing Lizard Folk by listening to Varel, but my favorite character is actually Nash with his jokes and his everything is in the solar mines. But my thoughts for you guys are about Nash's magic ball. From the moment he picked it up, I was picturing a magic 8-ball. Can you please tell us how the ball actually looks? Thanks for the many laughs at work. Best wishes from Sweden." Oh, there's the Sweden part. Linus. Well, Linus, I pictured the ball not as a thing that I could shake and then look at and it would tell me things. It was really just an implement like my staff when I didn't have my staff to, like, focus magic. But as far as I know, Bo, that ball doesn't have any fancy powers or abilities outside of just being a focus, right?
It's a magical, excuse me, it's a magical source.
Yeah.
In terms of its physical appearance, I don't remember what I said at the time. I think
I said focus.
What do you think it looks like? Like, it's like a crystal ball. Like, I kind of pictured it almost like a big marble.
Yeah, maybe a little glowy. Okay, you know the Lord of the Rings when they got the ball in Saruman's tower there, and they're all kind of gathering around it trying to talk to Sauron or whatever, and it's all kind of. It's just a ball, but it feels like it's got kind of a glow to it inside. That's how I pictured it, but small. Like a smaller
that works.
About that big. That's my thinking. Any disagreements around the table? Anybody else want to comment on the size of my ball?
Bowling ball?
Yeah. I mean, bowling ball, we were just talking about bowling, funny enough, but like that. But imagine like one of those cool, marbly looking bowling balls, like a blue one, but shrunk down to about the size of a softball. That's what I pictured. But yeah, we never really got into it. And it's not the kind of thing I can shake and go, oh, you will find, great fortune this day or anything like that. As best I can tell. Unless Bo has some weird surprise for me. But we're back to the staff anyway, and the ball is just in my pocket.
I don't think so. You can count on your ball to be a ball.
Yeah, just a ball.
I think.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good there.
Have a ball, everyone. Thank you for that email, Linus. If you'd like to send us your own emails, head on over to the site, therewillbedungeons.com. Super easy to contact us, and we would love to read it right here on the show. A reminder that at the end of the show, I will talk deeply about our support system and how you can get cool stuff in the mail every month, or even digital rewards, or just the satisfaction of knowing you help your favorite Dungeons & Dragons show continue to thrive and survive. So more on that later. You can check it out now, though. If you're listening live, head on over to therewillbedungeons.com. The tradition states that we must hand over the torch to Kristen, who will sum up last week's adventure so that you're ready for today's. Kristen, take it away.
Indeed, last time on There Will Be Dungeons, they secured the security Simeon and snailed the second. Arresting the alarm, they found themselves friended by a flying fiend named Alvert. He was Hell's helper, tasked with tripping up the truancy of the Weir, as both boundaries bartered beings, but Hell hoped to hedge their hold. Alvert continued conversation, implying interesting insight, particularly the principal's place in this patch of a poisoned past. Exiting the executive's office, they took to the tram, fighting to figure out the following feat. Alvert described a door devoid of DC, prompting them to push to the power plant. On their way, however, they beheld the builds of bugbears bouncing off the bulwarks. Too many to take, they sent to the suites, secured the security snail, and sent him carefully careening toward the curs. They also affirmed their AI antics had indeed achieved attainment. Bugbears now belabored, they walked willfully. Getting to the green line, ice idled their impetus. Slowly they stepped until stumbling upon a sleeted slammer topped by 20 feet of ice. They managed to melt a minuscule morsel, but the time it took was taxing. Finding a flue fixed far from the floor, they passed around the propeller panties and carefully crawled through the concealed clearance. Now rejoin our heroes as they endeavor to energize excised electricity. What will they find buried in the ice? Was the ice keeping them out or keeping something else in? And just what will the security snail do upon seeing the brutish bugbears? Stay tuned for today's adventure in the wide world of the Wastes.
All right, Bo, the talking stick is yours.
Okay, so let's get ourselves organized as we begin. What was the marching order again? It was Stanley, I believe, up front.
Yep, I was the first one in.
We have an intact map still. Is that still a thing? I need to go look. Sorry, I didn't.
There's no map. Well, there's the map of the facility that we're on currently.
Okay. All right. Oh, it's just our the subway map system thing deal that we had going. All right.
Yeah, the subway map.
Yep.
We don't have a battle map. But you last week you guys were trying to get through a thick ice door, had about 20 to 30 feet of ice between the start of the ice sheet and the door. You tried to heat metal, you tried to get through it, realized you'd be crashing down a bunch of ice, and you climbed up. Hope looked up and saw that there was a vent, and you managed to melt the ice there, and everyone floated up and climbed through it. So you're all in a vent right now. So I believe it's Stanley first. After that, it was Hope that went next.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was Nash, and then Burrell. All right. And as you climbed into the vent with your you have the underwear on you like an Aladdin vest.
Correct.
So it's still on you, correct?
Yes.
All right. And because you were using it to fly, it was on, so you are quite cold. So a lot of water's coming off your body because you are always hot. Okay. So that's the order. And now what sources of light active?
I would give Varel a stone that I would light, and then I would carry one also.
So the two people up in front have dark vision, so they can see without the need of light. And
Right.
So if you guys are going to make light stones, that's cool. I'll make a note of that.
All right.
All right, perfect. All right, so the four of you have begun clambering in a freezing cold vent. The vent is large enough for you to be on hands and knees and crawl through, but you can feel your backs bump up against it. In particular, you, Varel, have to crawl low to the ground and be more stretched out because of your larger size. The surface is cold, it's slick with ice on all sides. And as you begin crawling through the vent, there's a very cold breeze freezing your hairs and causing little icicles to form, Stanley, on the tips of your hair and ears as you move through the vent. You look ahead and see nothing but a long vent tunnel. Can't see the end. And you don't see any turns ahead from your 60 feet of dark vision.
All right, I'm gonna keep on crawling through, keeping a pretty decent pace, trying to keep the body moving and the blood flowing. And
Okay.
I'll just sort of keep an eye on the floor, see if there's ever a point, where you can sometimes see through, like it's a grate down below,
Okay.
or if it stays solid the entire time.
So sorry. You are you doing anything special to do this, or just as you move?
No, just as I move, yeah, just keeping an eye out for any place where it might be an exit, or
Okay.
be able to see where we are and get a sense of where we're at.
Okay, so but progress continues. So you make your way on, your hands and knees. Dun, 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 dun. There's a lot of shuffling and noise. Is there any attempt to be quiet here? Because it's very easy to make noise bumping your bodies up against the sides.
I don't think so. I think I've described I'm moving pretty quick, so
Okay.
probably not
All
the
right.
most stealthy.
All right, so you hustle down the vent, and as you get farther, you notice that the vent turns to the right and turns to the left. You can see that now 60 feet within your vision. Ends at a
Uh,
T-junction.
Do I have any sense on, based on the direction we went into it, which direction would be heading towards the door?
As you, the vent direction was moving up ahead and probably over the door,
Okay.
so you
So-
might even be well past the door at this point.
All right. Take a look down both sides. Is it nearly identical either way?
All right, so you approach the T junction, look carefully left and look right. You notice that on the right passage, it turns left immediately very quickly, and on the left passage, it turns right quickly, forming almost like a box or fork shape.
I'll just kind of yell back. Left or right?
What do you see?
It's the same either way.
Famous last words.
Left.
Hey.
I'm gonna go left. Not understanding what Nat just said, I'm gonna just go left.
All right, you make your way left and move like it's about 10 feet, and then it immediately moves to the right. And as you peer around the corner to the right to see what's down there, you see that the passage travels. Okay, I might sneeze at any moment. Sorry about that. Get a mute. What's that?
Oh, he sneezes funny. Wait,
Sorry,
Bo,
that
are you a
hurts.
multiple sneezer or just a single blast? How do you do it?
Sometimes it's more than one, but usually it's a single blast.
Okay,
Yeah, single blast. It's a shotgun blast.
same. That's how I do it.
If I sneeze in your general direction, it's a hospital visit for you. Okay, so so you peer off to the right, Stanley, and as you look down the vent, cool air blows on your face, and you see that the vent travels again another 60 feet out, and then there's a T junction at the end. Turns left and turns right.
All right. Oh boy. All right, I'm gonna crawl to the T junction. Can I get a sense of, like, if I look left and right, does the air seem to be hitting me harder one way versus another?
Good. Well, right now you're at an L junction, or it's not a junction, but an L-shaped turn, so you can't tell.
All right, I'll
to
proceed to
get
the
up.
next T junction and then check that out.
The party you're following, Stanley.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so you make your way to the next T junction, and you look left and look right. And on the right, you see likely a passage where the way to go right connects, because you see it sort of turn back into a square. And so to the right, you see, in terms of new territory, you see two vent shafts turning to the left. And on the left side of your T junction that you're at, you see again it turns into an L shape moving to the right. So it's like there are three passages heading in the direction that you were going. You test the air to see if one side is cooler than the other, and the air draft seems to be flowing towards the direction where you exited, and you don't notice a difference.
Okay, so it's kind of the same across the board.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to. So if I go to the right, you said there are two left turns eventually.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna go to the right,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna take the first left.
Okay. So what would essentially be the middle passage?
Uh-huh.
Gotcha. Okay. You make your way to that intersection. Boom, 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 boom. Moving through the ventilation shaft and look down. And this time, the passage runs farther than your vision can see.
Am I still feeling the cold air hitting me?
Cold air is blowing on your face. Everyone's starting to get very cold, but Pharrell.
I might keep going.
Okay. You start making your way down that passage. Several minutes goes by, and then a larger draft of cold air blows. Do you continue?
Yeah.
Okay. So something curious happens and enters into your vision as you continue proceeding. You notice that The vent has been mostly made of some sort of, I'm not sure what vents are made with, but it's like an aluminum reinforced steel kind of deal. But it's generally been quite solid, and because you have a sense that if there was any exterior air on the outside, it's not malleable or moving. So perhaps it's encased in ice, the passage that you're moving through, if you had to imagine.
Okay.
But as you begin moving forward, you notice an opening in the bottom of the vent. It's not so much an opening as it is like one of those grated slits where it's an actual vent, like an actual place where air might blow into a certain area.
All right. I'm gonna go over and take a look.
All right, you want to approach it and take a look. As you begin to make your approach to this thing, you feel a sudden lurch in the vent shaft, and it's imperceptible. It might only be half an inch, but the whole of the vent passage leans a little bit down by half inch. You just barely notice this, but you notice it. You haven't made your way there. You're about halfway to the opening.
I'm gonna carefully continue.
That sounds like you'd like to apply some skill to this ventilation.
Sure, let's do a roll of some kind.
Okay. What would that be? That would be like acrobatics, right? You want to try to make yourself light on your
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that seems okay.
And you put your feet and arms in the corner to push your weight to the sides rather than below.
It's a 22.
Okay, so you do this quite easily, putting feet on either side and shimmying your way the rest of the way. So you approach this section of the vent. The rest of the party, you didn't notice. Well, you did notice.
I
that Stanley,
should tell him. I should
Yeah.
tell him.
Okay.
I'll allow
It
it.
feels like the vent's a little shaky up ahead. I'm gonna try and continue forward, but we should be careful proceeding.
Would you like us to wait?
Might be a good idea for now.
All right. And hope will stop.
Okay.
All right, Stanley. This place is cold and stupid.
All right, you approach the opening, and you see that there's a couple of mechanisms on this opening. One, there appears to be some sort of a padded material covering up what you thought might be an opening, but it looks to be some kind of, well, it looks like a filter. It's gray and black. In addition, underneath it, you could see and you can hear very softly a
Seems dangerous. Okay, I'm going to carefully make my way back to the rest of the group.
Do you turn around or do you just shimmy
Yeah.
backwards?
I'll turn around.
Okay, acrobatics check, please.
I'm pretty acrobatic. How bad could it be? Yep, that bad. I shouldn't have said it. 7.
Okay, so you go to flip your body around back the other way, and you get a little stuck, and you put a little bit more weight than you intended on the bottom of the vent, and the vent appears to move down just an inch more. And this time it makes an audible sound that the party can hear. You hear it.
Wow. Excuse you, Stanley.
I'm gonna very slowly start to climb back and crawl back, and I think it's slipping, and it sounds like there's a fan below us. I think we need to go back right now.
Hope will nod and start trying to back up.
Okay, you're gonna reverse.
Yeah.
All right. So Hope, you are reversing into Nash.
I'll also reverse.
Okay, you're reversing into Varel. Varel, Nash is coming at you with his butt.
I will too reverse, and I will angle to the left, taking us down the way that we came.
Okay, so go back. All right, everyone begins reversing. Okay, so Stanley, you see everyone reversing. You do manage to right yourself the right way, but you're still in near the fan.
All right. I'm gonna crawl towards them. Now it's a little awkward because they're just backing up and I'm crawling forward towards them, but that's what I'm doing.
We'll continue to use your first acrobatics roll to apply to this, and you shimmy your way back to relative safety, if even there was danger.
All right, we need to decide where to next then.
Well, forward to our next angle, yes?
Yeah, didn't it cut to the... We went left, so right then?
The second left.
Or-
We did the
Second
first.
left.
Second
yeah,
left?
We can
Okay.
check out the second left. We're
You
gonna go
as
for
our
the second
tester.
left.
Maybe I can open up a new sheet here in Roll20 and just draw lines so you can everyone's on the same page in case you're like, no, it's the other left. But is it at this left?
Your left. That sounds
On
good.
your left. Close the damn door. All right, everyone on this page.
Getting there.
Mm-hmm.
I have to launch it.
I was looking at the sweet map I drew, which I thought was pretty good, and we're about to find out if that's true or not.
Maybe yours still is sweet. Bo's is
Let's
bad.
see. So I'm just drawing a line here. So that was the. Oh, that doesn't. 2 dots. There are 2 dots. Okay, so then there's like left.
I don't see.
Looks like
Oh, I
that.
see. Yeah.
It's like
No, that's helpful. Yeah.
So far, it looks a lot like.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh, no.
pictured. Oh, whoa.
Cool.
Oh,
no
nope, not anymore.
mistakes were,
Sail to it.
mistakes were made. All right, everyone. Great podcast content. I'm drawing. Here we go. Oh, I did it again. All right. So, anyways, while I do this, you guys can discuss your plan of action.
So basically, there's like a fork coming off of the top of this. We want to go to the right prong, the one he just drew, actually.
Yeah,
right?
yes. That's what I pictured. I didn't know where it was, but okay, yeah.
The middle one had a fan at the end of it. We're gonna go to the right prong. of
Yeah,
the
let's
fork.
go to the prong. The right one.
You're going to the right prong of the fork.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Wait
It
a
looks
sec,
like a mechanical pencil up close. The tip is the little line, and then you got the little gauge, and then the pencil
There
you
you
hold.
go. All right, so you're moving to the right side.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, we are.
I like that fan is capital.
Lowercase n.
Yeah, lowercase n's good. I like it.
I'm doing this quickly. Leave me alone.
It's all good.
all
I
right.
like it. I like
So,
it.
all right, so you back out and then move to the right and move to the passage and peer left.
Yep.
You see 60 feet ahead of you that there's nothing but vent passage. Uncertain what lay ahead.
All right, we'll start going down that one now.
All right, you begin moving down that one. This time the passage seems firmer. And up ahead you do see a similar, probably in about the same location perpendicularly, or parallel. I mean, is one of those grates again on the bottom of the vent. And this time because you're listening for it, you hear the as you get closer.
Does the grate basically take up the entire vent floor, or
There's room to put your feet and hands along the side, maybe like 4 inches.
and it continues past this as well? It's
Continues
this is
past,
the
yes.
section.
That's right.
And can we see through it, or is it that same foamy filtered like?
You'd have to
look
get close to it to tell.
Oh well, let's get close to it then.
All right. And is there any considerations in your approach, or you're just moving right up to it?
No, this one felt solid. Let's go.
All right. So you clamber your way up ahead, moving forward. Everything feels fine. You make your way to the grate, and you see it has the same sort of filter substance. Just thick and damp, but it looks like it's made out of filth itself at this point.
All right. Can I push on it? Can I try and push it out?
Yeah. How many fingers, or your whole palm, or you try to pull it out?
Whole palm.
So you push on it, and you feel like it's a giving material. It feels like solid, but have you ever I don't know, taken in your laundry machine, you can pull out the thing and it's got it feels like that, but the solid substance of that. So it's like gives a lot, but it's cold and hard, but still mushy. And you try to push, it doesn't look like it can push through. Probably can maybe pull it.
You mean the lint
Okay.
the lint tray in a?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna
Whatever that thing's
I
called.
don't.
pull,
yeah, I'm not
pull
even sure.
on it. We'll pull on it, see if it
All
comes
right.
up.
You give it a little tug, and it sort of you pull up this piece of it, but it won't snap out. You're gonna have to give it a hard pull to get it out.
Could I cut it out with my dagger?
Sure.
All
I mean, you can
we'll pull out
try.
the dagger and try and cut around it.
All right. And is any consideration to how you cut it out? I guess,
Trying
is
to
there
go
how to
around
use
the
knife.
around the frame to where I can get like a corner, so maybe I can, peek my head down through.
Okay, so you put your knife in gently, and you're able to cut through it very easily, and you cut out a little square piece.
Gingerly,
And as
John.
you lift it up, you see underneath it, you feel more air blowing now, like intensely, like really cold. And with your dark vision, you can see that there's something spinning. Likely that there's a fan directly underneath it. It's going and appears to be drawing air from whatever's underneath up into the vent.
Okay, I will turn around and confirm there are fans directly underneath. Be cautious as we go past. I wouldn't put much weight on this particular spot. And we'll crawl forward.
Okay. So you put it back?
The little square piece?
Yeah.
Yeah, will it stay or is it just gonna fall?
I mean, you can place it back in, although
Okay.
yeah, as you put it back in, it floats up and blows out. So no, you can't put it back. No, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. Unless you want to have some epoxy or some glue or something like that. You want to.
Yeah, I don't have that with me, so I'm gonna just crawl past.
All right. So you crawl past the vent, and you beckon the rest of the party to follow. Right?
Yep.
Does the rest of the party follow?
Heck yes.
Yeah.
All right. Everyone starts clambering, and everyone gets close to it, sees that there's a little cutout hole, and there's a fan underneath, and blackness beyond. Can't see anything in there. Varel, as you move by, you notice a little flash of light come from the hole below. There's a tiny little dot, like a firefly in the distance. It's like a blink.
Well, I
Stand
fear
up.
no fan. I'll spit my light stone into the hole since I've been holding it with my mouth. I'll go and let it fall on in.
Okay. So we have to time it so it doesn't get hit by the fan. So why don't you roll a sleight of hand check, please?
All
Or
right,
sleight of-
I was
sleight
leaving
of
it to
mouth.
luck anyway, so that's just as good. 14.
Okay, so you spit it out, and the fan's moving so fast that it clips the rock and starts bouncing around like crazy behind you. Bing, 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 bing. As it ricochets back in through the very fast spinning fan and hits the walls all around you. And there's like a light show going on behind you, Stanley. And then open. And you all hear the bing, 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 bing. And then it lands like on top of the lint, the filter.
I guess it's worth asking because I pictured it in my mind's eye and just assumed, oh, that's right. How big is the fan?
I mean, the fan is about 5 feet. Like you can't see the whole thing, but you see that it's a rather large fan that's embedded in the vent. That's a ceiling fan, but it moves very quickly. You can't really. It's not going. Woo, it's going. So you see the blur. Very difficult to get something through it without it being hit.
Okay.
But it's not blowing so hard that it would levitate or push anything, right? Is there a way to gauge that?
Well, it did levitate the filter, but not like a creature, probably.
Right, too heavy. Okay.
Yeah, there's additional wind coming from here going. Anything further you'd like to do, Varel?
I'll lip the rock back into my mouth and proceed.
Okay. All right, Stanley. So up in front, you notice there's a bunch of noise happening. And appears to have stopped, so you continue along.
Yep.
The passage appears to move on ahead, and you see another one of these vent panels below you.
Okay. Everything kind of the same as before.
From this distance, it looks like a similar piece of vent.
Okay, I'm gonna crawl up to it.
Okay, you make your way up to it. It's got the filter on top. Same as the last one.
We'll cut a little square. Take a peek through this one too.
Okay, cut a little square in it, and you see that there's a fan, and it's going and it blows air into your face. Now you peer into it, and even with your dark vision, the room below is so large you don't see anything. You think maybe on one out of the corner of your eye you see some kind of a box floating in out of the darkness, like a square-shaped thing, but you have no idea what it is. And you just see an outline in gray and black.
What that- I'm sorry. I don't know what that was.
Somebody had a little drip. Who was that?
Very concerned up in this fan. Okay, I will relay that I'm seeing the same thing again, and then say, are we going to continue, or does anybody else have any ideas? Otherwise, I'm going to just keep going.
Let's say we keep going.
Does
Get
it
to the
feel?
end.
I'll ask him if it feels sturdy. Does it feel sturdy?
Does it feel sturdy?
Yeah, so far you haven't noticed anything. One of the things that you can see through the lip of the fan, it's good that you mentioned it, is something you'd be looking for, is that the walls of the vent are icy, right? So even though you see vent, if they're cold, there's like a layer of ice. You see that beneath the fan appears to have cut away, but if you sort of try to peer your angle to look at what's underneath, you see that there's a rather thick sheet of ice surrounding whatever it is you're in, ceiling. You can kind of see that it goes around and that there's a thick layer of ice outside as well.
Okay. We'll keep going.
All right, perfect. So you continue on, and as you continue on, everyone else continuing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. As you continue on, there's a little crunch that you hear all throughout the vent. And everyone feels a little give of an inch in the vent.
Faster, Stanley.
Oh, okay. We're gonna go faster.
Okay. As you begin moving faster and hustling down. Is everyone moving faster?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You see ahead that ice begins forming along the sides of the vent and begins getting narrow and narrower. And from your vision, Stanley, you can see passage will be stopped unless you can break through the ice as it narrows and narrows more into finally a wall of ice in the vent.
All right. I am going to. I can heat metal and melt this ice. We might take a little damage from it depending on how this goes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're here. Why? Oh, but it's gonna be like extra damaging heat metal. We're here. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. I'm gonna heat metal on the metal where the
Okay.
ice is.
And how do you keep it from hitting the party? Like what's the range, I guess, on it is what I'm asking, the area of effect.
The range is 60 feet, and it just heats metal. I don't know if it says.
Manufactured metal object, weapon within range. So aim 6 feet.
So I don't know if I aim it
I
far
mean-
enough away. Maybe it just warms over where we are. I don't know. I would
Yeah,
take
but
the
I mean, like,
damage hit if I need to.
in the vent. Okay, so it begins warming up the vent. If you shoot it up, you're shooting up like 60 feet in front of you, so you won't be and none of your teammates will be near it when it goes off, right?
Right. Goal
Yeah,
is to melt the ice, not.
All right.
Perfect.
So expend your spell slot, and ahead of you, the heat takes effect immediately, and the vent begins warming. Now, this doesn't change the shape of the metal it heats, right? That's the magical property of it. So if it's like a shitty metal, it doesn't melt it.
Right. I don't think it works.
So we're not going to be melting the vent. So you warm up the vent, and the ice begins to melt immediately, forming giant pools of water trickling down in your direction. A stream of water runs towards you, Stanley, and the vent moves down an inch, and everyone goes, "Yeah."
Jeez.
And it begins to sag a bit. Hope, in particular, underneath you, you feel almost like there's a bit of swing and a rock of a left and right where you're hanging. The water begins dripping towards the vent hole, and it seeps through the filter, and you can hear the sounds of as the water falls from whatever ceiling you guys are in and hits the ground below. And soon a torrent of water is splooshing down the vent towards the vent bottom. Another inch gives away, and the vent begins swinging. The ice clears up ahead, and the passage is now free and continues on for what seems interminably.
Are we continuing?
Let's go.
All right. I'll release
right.
the spell and start going.
Stanley begins booking it down the vent, and Hope is right behind Stanley. And as Hope, you take your first step, the weight from your metal limb pushes down on the vent,
Oh no.
and the thing begins to fall. You just feel your world lurch, and metal rips. Bang! As the metal rips in two, and you begin sliding down the passage to the ground. Behind you, nothing but blackness. What do you do?
I'm gonna throw my hand back and see if I can grab onto Nash or something, or find something with my metal arm to
Nash
dig
is on the
into.
other side of the split.
Oh,
if you
so
picture
forward. So forward then.
so right underneath you, it's split in two, and you're falling through the hole.
Cool. So I'll do like that one hand grab at anything.
Okay, let's make an athletics check, please. Metal hand or normal hand?
Can I give her
No.
advantage if I reach my staff for her, or because we're not in turn order here? Can I do something in real time like that?
Sure.
I'm gonna do it, whether
Nice.
it helps or not. I don't know, but I'll stick my staff out.
Okay, you stick your staff out. Hope instinctively reaches for the metal. You put your fist through the aluminum metal, and because it's heated, there's less ice resistance on it. So you just grab a clump of metal in your hand, and then it snaps away. Like, you know how you peel a banana? So you have your hand on a peel, and you fall down and swing, and you're hanging by this piece of aluminum metal as you swing out open over a black chasm beneath you. Nash reaches out his staff, but as you reach out your staff, Nash, the passage in front of you begins lurching forward and down where Hope has broken it, and because the vent is full of ice, you begin sliding down the vent through the opening in front of you. What do you do?
I'll grab his back legs.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
I'll go-
you grab his back legs.
yeah. I'll go. Varel, hold me.
Athletics check, please, for real.
Which I can do mostly freely because I'm still wearing the underwear vest. So I would have reverse flying behind this grab.
Okay.
25.
Okay, you grab onto his leg, kink, and you begin sliding forward as the weight of both, as the vent continues to slowly slide down into the chasm below. Hope's hanging on by a single hand, just hanging on, like with a single strip of aluminum hanging on over the hole. Stanley, you see this all happening behind you, and the vent
Right.
begins also bending down in your location.
Turn around and spell economy. I'm gonna hit everybody with Featherfall anyway.
Okay, you immediately hit everyone with Featherfall. They don't feel its effects because none of them are in free fall. They have it for the next minute.
Are we falling towards a fan or just towards a room that we can't see the end?
Open blackness, so you can't see inside. Although as you begin to look in, you notice that the room is large, very large. No walls, nothing. In the 60 feet of dark vision you have.
And I
because
can't
you have
see.
because you have light sources, you can see in your proximity, but not far out because it's dimming your vision
Right.
outside of the light area.
Then we don't see a floor, right?
You don't see a floor.
I'll spit my rock at the floor.
Okay, so you spit your rock at the floor, down, and look below, and the light carries down. You see these giant towers as the light goes down. These sort of like shelving units with these weird, strange paneling, and as it hits the ground, you see a surface of ice below, amidst all these rows of shelves.
Cool.
I
Well,
say
with
we drop. I'm sick of vents.
yeah, with floor found and underwear on back, I will let go of the walls with my feet that I'm holding Nash with and just descend with him.
Okay, so you begin sliding out and descend, floating down with your feather fall and your Aladdin wear style underwear. You float down with Nash in hand. Nash, you reach the ground hands first. Hope you're still hanging, but you could let go, and the familiar magic of feather fall now enveloping your body. You can descend if you wish.
Cool. Yeah, I'll let go.
Yeah, so you sort of let go and Mary Poppins your way down, land on your feet. Stanley,
Yep, I just slide out, fall to the
like
floor.
like a fish, you just
Yep, like a fish through a cannon. There you go.
just slide down and gracefully hit the ground. Everyone lands on the ground, and they look at what's within their nearby vicinity, and they see large, towering shelving units in their area. And as into this room, a giant blast of wind, cold, blows from the left-hand side, and you take a look, and you see, you can't make them out clearly because the room is doused in darkness. You see, those with dark vision see large wall-sized fans going. There's this kind of sound throughout the room that's like. The ground beneath your feet is covered in ice. And as you examine the ice beneath your feet, you see that little blinking glowy lights occasionally shine through the ice.
Are they moving or are they stationary?
They appear to be stationary, but sometimes they blink on and then blink off. And the ice has this neat way of amplifying them or making them kind of look chromatic as they shine through the floor.
But they're definitely, it's obvious to us it's coming from underneath.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's not a lot of snow on this ice. It's very clear. It's not very clear ice because it still has patterns and distortions in it, but it's not snowy sort of ice. It's very clean ice.
Hope we'll
You
start
notice-
looking for a doorway. Doorways, any entrances or exits.
Okay, you've been exploring to see the dimensions of this room, and this room is like the size of a football field. There are shelving. Most of the shelving units, some of them are knocked to the ground. On either side of the wall, the ice appears to scope up, or slope up, rather, and like the sort of surface, and there's no real doors, just ice along the walls of this large, massive room. And on the left side, wall-sized fans that appear to be just going traveling at large speeds, blowing tremendous amounts of cold air into this room. Everyone begins freezing, except for Varel, who begins forming snow around his body. As the cold air hits his skin, it sort of steams into snow particles, and there's just snow happening around him now.
That's kind of cool looking. Are there anything on the shelves? Shelves are bare.
The shelves are not bare. They're filled with these units, these box-shaped units. They're full. They have panels and buttons on them, little vents. Some of them appear, as you examine it closer, make a little noise. They go. Make these like weird noises.
Any panels near the fans?
As you approach the wall with the fans, they're giant mechanical units. You don't really see any control panels on them. You see that beyond the fans, there's mechanical passages that appear to lead to vents of some kind, but they don't look like they were intended for human traversal.
Okay.
They blow really cold air on you as you approach it. Your limbs begin to snap and ache as the freeze of the cold starts setting in.
Did we see any doors out of this place, or?
You found no doors. The room is gigantic, though. You've scoped out your section of the room. When I say gigantic, like football field, like hundreds and hundreds of feet, it seems to traverse on into darkness.
How big are the shelves? Are they in the ice, or could I pick one up?
So the shelving units are maybe 10 to 20 feet tall, depending on which one. Some of them are knocked over. The shelving units appear to contain ancient computing equipment.
Are they metal? The shelves that have been knocked down or falling apart?
They are metal.
Could I have like one of those 10, like an IKEA piece, like a 10-foot long board of metal?
Okay, do you want a board or do you want a pole? Like, do you want to take one of the legs or one of the shelves themselves?
Oh, I mean, a pole would probably be more wieldable.
Okay, sure. Well, you approach one of the shelves and you go to rip it off? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's got beeping, booping machines that I've seen before, and they're useless to me, so I'll go ahead and just rip off a pole.
All right. Athletics check, please.
I'm a bit cold. It's a 10.
All right. The metal is not designed to be resilient in a certain way, and you snap them, you snap them open and bend them in ways that are not that make you feel like this metal is not all that great.
Ah,
That
okay,
makes
then
sense.
I discard it.
No.
We need to stop that fan. That is our only way forward, and you all are freezing. Also, I do not desire this underwear anymore, Nash. Please take it back.
All right. I'll take it back. I'll put it on, and I will not turn it on, though. It stays off.
Okay. All right. As you go to put your underwear on,
It's probably warm, right? Because he's been wearing
you
it.
kind of look around like instinctively because you're changing your underwear, and you sort of look around instinctively to see if anyone's watching you, make sure nobody's watching you, and then you see a face look right at you like, and it shocks you for a second, but then you notice the face is encased in ice. It appears to be a fully preserved corpse of some sort of human in a block of ice next to a shelf just around a corner. And it's like,
And is it me who sees it?
yeah.
I go, ah! And then I inform them what I've seen, or hopefully everyone turns and I point at it.
Yeah, and everyone sees there's a sort of a block of ice protruding from the ground, and there's a fully preserved human wearing a lab coat and pants, frozen in place with this expression.
Is it connected to the ground?
It is.
Okay. This could be our block, our way through the fan. Carve him out with my shield, throw him through, break the device.
I'm for trying it. We've got to do something to fight back the cold.
Yeah. Maybe,
Alright.
Perhaps there's a way you could cut him free. You're not going to carve him out of it, right? You want to throw him plus his cube that he's in, right?
Correct.
All right.
I will light up my shield and see if I can kind of thaw cut on the edge, the block
Okay.
free.
You light up the shield, and it begins melting the ice. Are you using any force to hit it as you do that? It begins melting the surface around it.
Merely like you were trying to, spatula it off the ground.
I see.
While
Like
melting
cutting
it
a tree
free.
down or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, so it would require force to chip away. I think if you're to wait to melt, because there's so much cold air in here, it is taking a long time to break ice. So we're looking at your estimate just to simply melt it might be 30 minutes. Maybe with a bit of force to punch it, 20.
So it's too slow for our needs.
Maybe not.
Nash. This is too slow. While it is perhaps a bit grim, what of your horse?
Oh, yeah. I still have the horse.
Its meat may clog the fan.
Surely there has to be something else we can put in the fan than a horse.
Well,
You are all dying.
Willing to try it.
Sorry, just to keep in mind, you found one fan. It's not the only fan. There's a wall of fans.
How
They
many
run
are-
down as far as the eye can see. You haven't explored the entire room. There's more than one fan. Sorry, I don't think I made that clear.
But we did explore it for exits, right?
You did, but not the entirety of the room. You explored your area. It's a football field.
Is it
It's
rectangular
massive.
like a football field then?
If you'd like to explore the whole room for exits, you're looking at an hour. This is a massive room that you've entered.
It's rectangular though, and we're on one end of it.
Yeah.
Okay. It might be worth doing.
And the fans are blowing inward, right? Into
Fans
our
are
room?
blowing into this room. Yeah,
Right.
From the left side, on the left side of this massive room, you can see that there's a wall. The fans themselves are about 60 feet tall. They're wall size. They're massive mechanical fans and just blowing. And as you examine one, you can hear that there are more along this wall farther down.
I do have a portable. Oh no, did we use the portable ram? No, we didn't.
Nope.
No, we didn't.
use the ram.
So the ram could
But
be.
it's-
We could throw it in. We could see if it would jam a fan, and if it does, maybe we break the fans one by one. Are they all reachable? Bo, like, are they high above us? Are they? I mean, are they low enough for us?
They're
to...
on the left wall. They're on the left wall. All
They're
along the
60
left wall
feet.
are giant fans.
So I
I
don't
feel
know.
like we're gonna need to stop more than one fan. Maybe whatever these lights beneath the ice are would be a method to turn them off if we can get down to them.
We could try melting a hole. Create a
Very well then. And I'll go over to one of the holes or the lights that we can see below. And like when Captain America broke out like 3 stories high and landed on a shield, I'm just gonna get out my shield, put my whole body weight on it like a saucer,
Okay.
and just lay into it and see if I can just start descending.
Descending into it. Okay, very good. All right, begin. How do I do this? So you want to basically make yourself a tunnel using your fire shield from the ice.
Correct.
Okay, so you begin attempting this. You get down on your knee, you put the ice, the shield to ice, and begin trying to burn your way through. It very rapidly creates a hole, and you're able to get 5 feet in within about a minute.
Okay.
That's cool.
All right, you would like to continue down?
Yeah, as long as their health's holding up. Otherwise, horse and fan.
Okay, so you make your way down a couple of feet, and finally you get to the bottom of your hole, and then you brush away some of the ice, and you find computer paneling on the floor. But above it, there's a sort of, it appears to be glass. But your glass begins to melt. Your fire sheet begins to melt the glass too, and it turns it sort of a carbon brown. So you don't have access to the computing devices that appear to be on the floor as they're covered with glass, unless you continue to try and break through.
I'll relay that information up. There's glass between us and the mechanics that we could use to stop this cold.
I say we smash through.
Varel, break on through to the other side.
All right, I'll double fist it and bring it down and break some glass.
Okay, so you've made a narrow passage. It's very difficult to get a full swing in. You probably have to like jackhammer.
I'll just use my weight. I'll stand up and just give it a jump and a stomp.
All right, you give it a jump and a stomp, and you hear of like glass, of old carbon burnt glass breaking. And you look at your feet, and you see that there's now just loose piles of carbon glass bits, and there's a computer panel on the other side.
Cool. I'll pick up the glass out of the way and sort of shoo it back towards my knees.
Sure.
And is there buttons?
So the part that you have access to that you notice, there's like a little portion of a monitor and a little bit of buttons. There appears to be like some sort of fan in here. Some other buttons, a little slit where you don't know what that's for.
Is he in a? Is it like a room, or is it just like a little?
He's made a tunnel the size of a shield down to the computer beneath floor, the ice. So there's about 10 feet of ice between you and a glass floor, and then underneath that glass floor is computing equipment.
Varel, I could hover down with my underwear.
Good. I don't understand what I'm looking at, and I'll start climbing up. And I guess Nash could hover upside down then into the hole.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
Mission
don't.
Impossible stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I could do. Yeah, I could do that, right, Bo? I don't think that thing has rules when it
Yeah,
comes
you
to.
can. Yeah, you can fly upside down.
All right. Well, I will. I will.
All of your shit falls out of your cloak, back guano, and your cigarettes, the tailbone, everything just flies out of your pockets as soon as you move upside down.
Well, hold on. I haven't decided to do it yet.
Okay. Damn it.
I'm going to.
I don't think you should do it. It sounds like all your stuff's gonna fall out of your pockets if you do.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go down normally and then just sort of crouch, see what I can see, and so I'll start to and hover over there and go down.
Okay, so Varel has to climb on out for you to be able to climb on in.
Okay.
All right. So you climb on in and make your way down to the computer paneling. You see some buttons, you see letters for like, I guess what looks like a keyboard, some numbers. There's part of a screen that appears to be, has this like wavelength on it.
Okay. Does it have, is anything displayed, words or anything displayed on screens or anything that I can read?
There's a few numbers. It says 5, then it says 10, it says 23, 2, 7.
Okay.
Those are good numbers.
Those are good numbers. I want to hit enter on one of them to see what happens. Just see if we get any response.
Okay,
From...
you hit enter, and then a light in the ice somewhere sort of shines. As it shines, a silhouette of a corpse appears in the ice. And you see another human just
Okay.
frozen in the ice. And the light sort of dims down. And you don't see it anymore.
And there are multiple keyboards, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to hit.
No, there's one keyboard.
Oh, there's just the one. Okay.
Would you like to do an investigation check to see what you're dealing with?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, investigation.
I've done this so long, I gotta look at what my damn stat is. Investigation +3, it's not bad. All right, 15.
All right. You have no idea what you're looking at. It's a computer. You don't know what it's for. It looks to be measuring some kind of wavelengths of some kind.
What happens when I hit the escape key?
Screen still just appears to be doing its normal function. Doesn't appear to have an effect.
Okay. I will yell up that I don't. There's no way to know what we have to enter here. But it needs some sort of input before I can. I don't think just breaking this computer will do anything. I think we need to know the code, or we need to know what to type. And I don't know it.
I don't know. Try typing stop.
All right. Can't hurt, I guess. So I'll type stop.
Okay.
And
You
see
type
if it
stop,
does
press
anything.
enter.
Yeah.
A little window appears on the computer screen. And then as quick as it comes on, it goes away. It continues doing what it's doing.
Really?
A
Okay.
voice echoes out in the chamber. So much noise. Hey, Toby. They making so much noise.
And I'll make more if I wish.
Identify who you are.
I am Varel Rasfim Kirik, and I have come to establish power.
Oh, you hear that, Toby? The conqueror. You are not welcome here, says the voice from the darkness. This is my home.
Okay.
You make much noise.
I see.
Who are your friends? Friends. Yes, Toby, we'll ask him.
Does Toby have a different voice?
You haven't heard Toby,
Okay.
as far as you can tell.
Turn off the fans and we can talk. I yell from my hole.
Turn off the fans. He wishes us to turn off the fans, Toby. We tried that. Are you an illusion?
No.
Where do you hail from?
From Tiet Kala.
Never heard of it.
I've never heard of you.
That's true. Tell me, are you here with ill intent?
I do not know ill intent.
With intent to harm?
A certain individual, yes.
Are you plunderers? Toby, no. They are not here to repair the machinery. These do not look like technicians. I think they're here to kill us.
No, we are here to fix the machinery.
Be forewarned! I know how to protect myself. And I will be the last thing you see.
The sooner we
Before
fix
I-
it, the sooner we can leave.
Toby! She thinks she can leave. She doesn't know that we've thought of that. You cannot leave this place.
But we got here, and we have the underwear. We can leave whenever we wish.
Speaks in riddles, he does. Where did they come from, Toby?
I got water in my eye from that and choked. Yeah, the underwear.
It's true. Toby wants to know how you got here. I'm curious myself. So I am.
Show
There's
yourselves.
a hole.
Oh.
So one is known as Varel, but who are the others? I spy an elf with you.
Half elf.
Elf all the same. Toby,
And
I must
what's
admit,
of it?
these strangers are interesting. Did he send them? Who sent you?
Nobody sent us. We're here trying to get this facility's power restored.
Could it be? After all this time, are you here to rescue me? And Toby? And Carl? And Gordon?
If possible, yes, we would like very much to do that, as long as you can help and not hinder us.
He says, Toby, they're here to rescue us. What are the rest of your names?
Well, my
Hello?
name is Stanley Billings.
Stanley Billings. And that's Hope. And the one in the hole.
Nash Magard of the Solar Mines.
He's a miner.
Was
Makes sense that he's in a hole.
a miner.
Very well. Drop your weapons. And come forward so I may see you better. Toby wants to see you too.
Where are
will
you?
decide if you're allowed to stay.
Where are you?
I'm not telling you that. You are in my world.
Well, then where are we supposed to step?
Step to the sound of my voice.
And the sound of the voice comes from this football field size of shelving farther down in the blackness where you have not yet explored.
We'll look at everyone, shrug, and start slowly walking that direction.
You didn't disarm yourself.
But I'm not holding anything.
Okay. Very good.
I'll have my hands up. I'll put my hands up.
Good, good.
Yes,
follow.
come closer. Ah, interesting, interesting.
Varel follows behind.
Ooh.
I will drop diplomacy and walk 30 feet from it.
Good here.
I'll rise out of the hole, but before I do, I want to type two things. I want to type /help and enter. Does anything happen?
No.
Then I will type turn off the fans and hit enter. Does anything happen?
No.
Okay. After that I'll rise out of there. With my-
After your attempt, you see clearly this computer's got nothing to do with fans or HVAC.
Okay. I'll come out of there, rise up through the hole with my underwear propulsion, with my hands up, staff
You're
in
now
this hand.
very cold.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. Staff in hand.
Is it warmer down there?
No.
Oh.
It's freezing down there.
Okay.
Ooh, he flies, Toby. This one can fly away. Good. Now that it's safe, I will come forward.
And then there's like a snap, and some lights in the back turn on, like down the hallway. From where you don't know, but they look like halogen style lights have been turned on. And then a little figure in tons of cloaks robed sort of waddles down with a staff. And as it gets closer, you see a shriveled gray-black face with warts all over it and eyeballs. One eyeball's lazy and moves over.
Yes. Welcome to my home.
And we'll take our break there. We'll come back, and we'll
All right.
get to know who this fine young woman is.
All right. Oh! I'm surprised already. Great.
Oh, a young woman?
Whoa,
Where?
What? That's crazy. Fantastic. All right. We'll be back in a second. Everybody come on back in a minute. We will be back with more There Will Be Dungeons. We'll see you then.